Whoa, jingle! Happy time has just begun. Brother, sister, smart, dumb, fun. Yeah!
Look, Ann, we're back on the day we're supposed to be here on a Sunday.
At the time we're supposed to be here.
Yeah, I like these 5 o'clock shows. It feels like just the right time. I think we're gonna do that from now on. 5 o'clock shows, because 6 o'clock's almost too late. I think because then I have to go to bed because work starts again tomorrow.
I was gonna say it's a school night for you now, Jenny.
It is, and I went to school for a few minutes today, and I actually was excited to go. I do like starting a new school year. It's like, this is the year I'm going to do everything that I ever wanted to do. And that's going to last for about 7 hours. And then I'm going to be like, this is going to be just like every year. Yay!
Exactly.
What are you going to do? Hey, look, Joe Peters made me a drink. He made me an old-fashioned with 2 cherries. Look at that. I'm
very
special.
Good.
Yes.
I have a gin and tonic with
nice.
a lime.
That's a good-looking lime. That is. I always like it when you go to a bar and you order a drink that requires a lime, and it's a good-looking lime. There's nothing worse when they throw in some mealy, sad, brownish yellow lime, and they're like, we're going to pass this off. It's delicious. And I'm like, no, that's crap. So, that's when you take the lime off and just enjoy your drink without your lime.
Exactly.
So,
I'm like, sad lime.
And then you ask if do you happen to have a different lime? Maybe one that's a little greener? I don't feel like I need to be a dick about it. I get it. You work with the limes that you have, but I can get another one. So
exactly. And it is Michigan. We're not exactly the center of lime growth.
We're not. We are not like, the tropics or California or.
Exactly. I mean, maybe Lyme disease, but not the fruit.
That's the wrong vowel. Well, I guess technically, yeah, that's Y as a vowel.
Whatever.
Lyme disease, Y as a vowel. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
yeah. So, and the person that got her very first Wordle the first time and has never Wordled again because she didn't have to. I don't know how the hell you did that. Yeah, tell me your Wordle story, Anne.
My husband, I don't Wordle. Having dyslexia, Wordle is Anyway, so it's a nightmare. So anyway, Duncan was like, just about to put in because he plays Wordle. He's like, oh, I almost forgot to play for the day. So I'm like, hey, can I pick your word? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? And so I picked horse, and he put in horse, and it was the word. So I got it on the first fucking try. So I'm like, why is this game so hard?
This is hard. I mean, seriously, you just guess the word and then the word comes up. Why do you need 6 tries?
I know. I was like, why do you need 6 tries? I'm like, why are everybody always talking about it and like posting that they got it in 4? I'm like, so Duncan's like, you want to play it again? I'm like, no, I have a perfect score.
Yeah, you would never. Why would you ever Wordle again after that? I'm like, nah, exactly. I'm perfect at Wordle. Perfect.
I'm perfect at Wordle. Exactly.
Yeah, and it only gets harder, so it's okay. Let me think here. What's happening? Yeah, so here we are. It's on a Sunday. It's the for those of you in Southwest Lower Michigan, teachers are going back to school tomorrow for the professional development weeks, which is great because I feel like I need to be developed. I am underdeveloped. All the development I had last summer, gone. So yeah, I need to be redeveloped. That's what they should call it. They shouldn't call it professional development. They should call it professional redevelopment. Ooh, I'm onto something there. Oh, and I can build myself as a professional redeveloper. Yeah.
That's where the real money is.
It really is. I'm a sucker because I actually teach in public education. And in reality, I should be consulting. I should be a private consultant and farm myself out for $10,000 an hour. So.
Totally.
I know, right? So yeah. So in the meantime, I've had a busy couple of weeks. Went off to Colorado for a little while because I'm going to be a grandmother. Saying it out loud.
I know, that's so weird, Jenny.
I know, weird. It is weird, man.
Oh, man.
I know. So went out and did some chores for my for my stepdaughter because that was fun. It was actually a really good week. We got a lot done, and I felt it was nice to be useful. So that was cool. Let me see, and then we went Yooperlite hunting, literally, because it was so funny because we had a perfect flight out there. Like everything that could possibly go right with a flight went right. It was awesome. And then we had the opposite experience trying to get home. So because there was big weather in Chicago on Tuesday when we were trying to fly back. So yeah, what was supposed to be like a 6-hour day turned into a 24-hour day. So yeah. So
Mhm.
but then we had a quick turnaround on Wednesday, and then you and I went up north on Thursday to go do our Yooperlite hunting, and we're going to talk
Mhm.
about that today. That's what today's all about. You're here because you cannot wait to know about our experience hunting for Yooperlites in the Lower Peninsula of Michigan.
Can be done.
Because it can be done. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we talk about all that awesome stuff today, and do you want to
Yes.
take everybody through the introduction today?
I would be happy to.
I know. Look, there it is. There we are.
Mhm.
Yooperlites, Lower Peninsula with the Brothers Sisters. Let's go. All right,
Mhm.
Ann Brothers, take it away.
All right, so welcome and/or welcome back. Here is our synopsis. We are Anne and Janice Brothers, and our last name is Brothers, and we are sisters. You can believe it or not, I don't care, but it's true. We're in our 50s, which means that we are Generation X and old enough to have grandchildren. I do not, but Jenny's going to be Grandma G. Okay, so Generation X, which means that, Janice, can you tell me a memory you have about Kmart?
I feel like Kmart is one of the quintessential Gen X shopping experiences. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so I actually have a few things. The first was I remember the one I want to say it was like in 8th grade when the Kmart in Sturgis, Michigan got frozen Coke. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Because there used to be a food counter in Kmart, and the Kmart, food counter in Sturgis got frozen Coke, and it was like somebody opened a door into my mind. Things that I didn't think possible because of science were possible now because of science. Yeah, that was the first thing. The second thing was the blue light special, because that was one of those things where you're just minding your own business in the store, and all of a sudden there'd be like, we're having a blue light special in Slacks, and so everybody would run over there because they were having some sort of special sale, and it was kind of fun to see the blue light go on because you just felt like something awesome was happening. Though, the next was bins of shoes. So like you would go and there would be bins of shoes. Normally those cheap canvas little tennis shoes, and
Mm-hmm.
then you would comb through those bins of shoes looking for your size. Ow. My cat just bit me because I'm petting her, and she bites me sometimes because I'm not paying enough attention to her because I'm talking instead of paying attention to her. And the last thing is, in the early 2000s, Kmart came up with a commercial about the fact that you could get your stuff shipped from Kmart. And so it was this entire commercial about how, hey, I went to Kmart and I shipped my pants, and it was that I shipped my pants, I shipped, it was the funniest, of course, because it sounds like they're saying I shipped my pants, and they did
Right.
it for everything. I'm like, I shipped my pants, I shipped my nightie, and it's just like, it was so funny. And why they ever stopped doing that, I'll never know, because it made me want to go to Kmart because I wanted to be able to ship my pants.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Ah,
I have many, many fond memories of Kmart, and I always just loved it, because in Sturgis there was the 3D, and then there was the Kmart, and we rarely went to the Kmart. We almost
mhm.
always went to the 3D for
Yeah,
some reason.
for some reason.
Yeah.
I think we're closer to the 3D. I mean, we lived in a town of 10,000, so it's not like
You know
you're
what it
not
was?
close to everything.
We didn't have to cross Centerville Road when we
Oh
went to
yeah,
3D. Yeah. So, yeah, because that was the worst.
it only had one light, so
Yes. Yeah. It was the bigger pain in the butt. And
yeah.
I guess theoretically 3D was closer. I don't know.
Mhm. I
Anyway.
don't know.
So, yeah.
Anyway,
There you go.
Kmart. There you go.
Gen X and Kmart.
And
We were
Kmart.
hand in hand. Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So, as you can see, we talk about smart stuff, dumb stuff, fun stuff, or any combination of the three. We
Which
are
you
not
can describe as Kmart. Kmart is all three of
exactly
those.
all three of those. Frozen Coke, smart. Yeah. Blue light
Mm-hmm.
special, fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bins of shoes, kind of dumb.
Kind of dumb. Because at the end
All
of the
right.
day, somebody's got to unknot all that bullshit. So there you go.
Exactly. Everybody touching your shoes before you get a chance to. Yeah.
Yes,
But
awesome.
what are you gonna do? We're not cool, hip, or sexy. We get up in the middle of the night to go rock hunting and maybe see a meteor or two. So if we were cool, hip, and sexy, we wouldn't do that.
And if we were cool, hip, and sexy, we wouldn't be getting up the middle of the night. We would be going to bed in the middle of the night because we'd been out at the club clubbing.
Exactly. Not looking for all night pancakes.
No, that's yeah.
Which we did not find. So
we did not find. And Traverse City, Michigan, just so you know, there are no late night pancakes.
There are no lights. Thanks, COVID. Anyway, COVID got rid of the 24-hour everything. So
everything, yes.
No midnight pancakes. We're not a celebrity influencer or true crime podcast. We would have to be cool, hip, and sexy to be a podcast like that. And we've already established that we are not. So this is the type of podcast you have if you are not cool, hip, or sexy.
If we were cool, hip, or sexy, Taylor Swift would be on our podcast telling us, leaving Easter eggs about how she's probably going to be the halftime guest at the Super Bowl this year. But, we're not cool, hip, or sexy. So,
no.
Hey, and did you know that Taylor Swift has never been the featured artist at a Super Bowl halftime show for various reasons?
That sounds crazy. I would watch the Super Bowls if there was Taylor Swift at the halftime, because I would at least watch like the last 10 minutes of the second quarter to see Taylor Swift, and then I watch Taylor Swift, and then I go to bed.
That's awesome. I think you are not alone in that sentiment. And for those of you that are tired of seeing Taylor Swift on NFL broadcasts, shut up. She's the best. I'm like, Taylor Swift Nation, let's go Swifties.
Let's go Swifties.
Exactly. So we're not cool, hip, or sexy like that. We're not that kind of podcast. So
we are, however, we are great to listen to when you want to learn things about stuff, or you're trying to put off any back to school planning. This is a good way to spend an hour, just one more hour, not trying to figure out what you're going to wear tomorrow. So there you go.
I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt because it's PD day. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
Duncan we were at Meijer today to try to find a water bottle for Duncan, and now they're all cool and hip and expensive. And he was very upset because he just wants a plastic one like he got in the aughts. And
they don't make those anymore. They only make metal ones that are heavy and scare the tar out of people when they hit the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all like $30. So
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, because we had to make drinking water expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Really expensive. Yeah.
And there was a bunch of them at Meijer because it's back to school days at Meijer, and all the kids need a water bottle so they don't get dehydrated. So
yeah, and the best part is I think the number is 72% of those bottles will be on the lost and found table within 24 hours of the start of school.
I was going to say, you don't need to buy one because the day after school starts, you'll be able to go to Lost and Found and pick one up.
Yeah, so tell Duncan I will scope out does he want one with a straw or without a straw?
He doesn't want any of it. He just wants one that he can put in his bike, the bottle holder on his bike, and none of those will fit. So
oh yeah, I'll see what I can do, because like I said, the lost and found table will be 72% of our students will leave them, and are So the things that are almost always on the lost and found table at school: water bottle, hoodie. Have a nice day. One shoe.
Exactly. All right. So this podcast is not GPG or even PG-13. We have to get all of our fucks out before the start of the 25-26 school year. So this is our last chance. I'm sorry if that insults you, but Jenny's a professional teacher. She can't drop the F-bomb, unlike her students whenever she wants.
I know it's not fair. I had a dream the other night that I did, and I got fired. So I gotta be very careful and cognizant about that. So I know this is me not saying the F word "fuck" very much today. Fart. Oops.
I was gonna say fudge.
Fudgy fudge.
Anyway, join us on our website, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Amazon Music. You can like us, follow us, smash that bell, leave us a review. give us your feedback with our questions and answers on our polls. And you can ask Alexa and Agnes to play us, and they will do it. So
And I have a fun story about my parents. So as you may or may not know, my parents live with us now, and I was gone. Joe and I were gone quite a bit over the last couple of weeks because of various stuff, and they couldn't make Alexa work because they couldn't remember her name.
you got to put that next to the oven instructions, Jenny.
I know. And of course, I immediately went to the Alexa Silver. That's Saturday.
Exactly.
If you want something fun to do, and I'm sure you've seen it, but if you haven't, you need to go to YouTube and you need to look up Saturday Night Live Alexa Silver. It's one of their greatest commercials that they've ever made. It is spot on.
It is.
So yeah, so my parents have been having the. I'm like, oh God, now I got to find a real live Alexa Silver. So,
Why isn't that a thing?
oh no.
I don't know either, man.
I know.
Anyway.
All right. Yes.
So, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yes. Yes, you should definitely subscribe. It's free. You can support us for free. You don't even have to give us a dime. Tell people to follow us. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Put the word out. Sharing is caring. Make us go viral for the right reasons. Not because we picked up something we shouldn't have on vacation somewhere. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Make us go viral, not for picking up a rattlesnake in the wild, then getting bit by it, and then dying.
Mm-hmm. Don't pick up snakes.
Don't pick up snakes. Don't pick up snakes, period. Don't pick up snakes in the wild, especially if you don't know what kind of snake it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Even if you do know, don't pick it up.
I think that's solid advice. Anne, I think we just saved a life.
I think we did too. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. All right. Let's talk about our smart, dumb, fun stuff that happened this week. And let's start with you.
Well, I have all kinds of smart, dumb, fun. My first thing is dumb and fun. It's from my sister-in-law, Liz. She got me an axolotl toy. And when you squeeze him, his eyes pop out.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't stop squeezing him. So both fun and dumb. So
yes, I would agree. It's fun and dumb, and everybody needs one of those because as soon as you lay hands on it, you cannot stop squeezing it. It's crazy.
No.
I had my hands on it for like 30 seconds the other day, and I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
So fun stuff I did with Jenny the last few days. Common Good Bakery in Traverse City. If you get a chance to go to Common Good Bakery, their tea and their coffee are excellent. And then they have French patisserie, French like peasant country patisserie. Oh my gosh. How I did not buy everything, I will never know.
About $60 worth of baked goods yesterday. $60 of baked goods. I did.
And the nice thing is that Common Good Bakery, they pay their staff a living wage and they get full benefits. So you may go there and say, oh, this place is kind of expensive, but one, the patisserie is worth it. And two, everybody is, getting what they need. And I was like, so it is. It's Common Good. I get good stuff. They get good stuff. There you go. Go ahead.
The baguette. We've been kind of munching on that baguette for the last 24 hours. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Yeah.
We had it yesterday for dinner with that cheese that we got at the farmer's market.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Darling Botanical Garden. It is actually a little store, and they sell houseplants, and then they also sell a bunch of kitschy, tiny little crap, which I love. So we went there, and it's also in Traverse City. So if you get a chance, check out the Darling Botanical Garden. It is darling. Light of Day Tea. I love their tea. My husband Duncan thinks it's a cult, and if it's a cult, then I want to join. Man, even if you don't buy tea, their gardens are beautiful, and they grow their own tea. Not just for herbal tea. They grow tea in Michigan. So yeah,
it's hard to do. If you're playing at home, that's really hard to do.
It's really hard.
We don't have a great tea climate. We're too cold.
Yeah, we don't. So, but they manage to have these big hoop houses full of tea plants. It's so cool. So if it's a cult, I would like to become a member. I have resources. And then of course, last but not least, the smartest, funnest thing we did was Liz's pool. My sister-in-law has a pool at her house. It's heated. There's a big TV. We spent from like 2 until 9:30 at night in that pool on Friday. We watched Project Runway. We had, oh man, it was great. Awesome. We just soaked and floated. The dog was in his own floaty thing. He floated with us. I was all
awesome.
I couldn't walk after I got out because I'm like, my legs don't work in this sort of gravity anymore.
I feel like I increased my lung capacity because breathing in water, that extra pressure on your chest.
Mhm.
So I feel like my lung capacity is so much better now because I worked so hard in that pool floating.
Anyway, it was amazing. So thanks, Liz, for letting us stay at your house and letting us use like 4 giant beach towels, and being in that awesome, sweet pool.
Yes. So yeah, that was fun. That was my first thing. Was my fun thing this week was our short and sweet trip up north. It was a perfect way to end the summer. So thank you, Liz, for that, because Liz, you are the greatest hostess ever in the history of hosting, as far as I'm concerned. So well done, thank you. On our way up, we stopped in Manistee, Michigan, and we saw the 3 giant sequoias that are growing on this little farmstead just north of Manistee on Michigan State Highway 110. You should go up there if you can, because it's really sequoias don't naturally. I mean, California is sequoia land, and this family that owned this farm brought 6 sequoia trees, 8 sequoia trees that were 6 inches tall. In an attempt to grow them in northern Michigan. And here we are all these years later. 3 of them are still alive and successful. All of them are, if not 100 feet tall, very close. One of them is 116 feet tall. And just really interesting. I learned a lot about sequoias that day. I learned that as far as carbon dioxide sinks, that sequoias, they filter more carbon dioxide than any tree that's around on the planet. So that's pretty amazing. And the fact that I thought was really interesting is that even though they grow in Michigan, they're only half as tall as the sequoias in California, which is incredible. So you're looking at a 116-foot tree, which is massive, and then I'm trying to imagine another one of those on top of it. I'm like, that's tight. So that's really a cool thing. I highly recommend checking that out. Just this little farmstead itself, it has a bunch of different kinds of trees, cedars and junipers and other pines, and that one deciduous pine tree. Which one is that, Ann?
Tamarack.
The tamarack, yeah. So just a really cool place. Highly recommend it. All right, so next for me, I read this week that Michael Phelps has been giving the Baltimore Ravens swimming lessons. One of the players on the Baltimore Ravens determined that 1 out of every 3 players on the Baltimore Ravens can't swim. And so he reached out to Michael Phelps, who's a Baltimore native, and said, hey, can you help us out with this? So not only did Michael Phelps go to the training facility, he brought his old Miss Kathy, his old swimming instructor, with him to teach any player that wanted to learn how to swim. And a number of players took the lessons. And then as a thank you, the Baltimore Ravens donated $100,000 to Michael Phelps's foundation that offers opportunities for kids to learn how to swim all over the United States. So I thought that was tight.
That is
and then
tight.
The last thing we did is that Ann and I, as we were driving home yesterday, we listened to the podcast Fresh Air with Terry Gross, and specifically her interview with Jeff Hiller, which was fantastic. For those of you that don't know who Jeff Hiller is, Jeff Hiller has just been nominated for an Emmy for his work in the show Somebody Somewhere, which is on HBO. It's a fantastic show. Jeff's performance in it is beyond outstanding. And I actually had the opportunity to do some improv work with Jeff like 25 years ago. And so it's been fun to sort of follow Jeff's career and kind of see him pop up from time to time on little spots on TV. And it was a really great interview because he talks about what it's like to hit big, after the age of 40, and in his case, after the age of 50. So really great interview, really hopeful. Jeff's a good dude anyway. And then that really comes across really well in the interview. And he just it's just a really hopeful piece. If you just need a little boost, kick in the pants, I highly recommend listening to this interview because Jeff has also written a book. It's called Actors of a Certain Age. And so, like I said, That's worth your time as far as I'm concerned. So,
Mhm.
all right, good job, Jeff. Congratulations, and
Mhm.
we hope you win the Emmy. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, and brothers, let us
Mhm.
talk about our trying our luck hunting Yooperlites in the Lower Peninsula of Michigan
Mhm.
and why that's a thing. Do you want to take the lead on this, or do you want me to?
I would be happy to. Here we go. Before we talk
Okay.
about our troperlite hunting experience, not Yooperlite, we were troperlite hunting. Let's review some stuff about Yooperlites. So, what is first? Let's go over some definitions, shall we? So, if you are not from Michigan or even Wisconsin, a Yooper this means you live in the upper peninsula of Michigan, so above the bridge. And the bridge, I mean the Big Mac, the bridge between the peninsulas of Upper and Lower Peninsula. So if you're up above the bridge, you are a Yooper because you live in the Upper Peninsula. Now, if
Yippee.
you are like my sister and I, we live below the bridge. So we are trolls living under the bridge. This means you live in the lower peninsula of Michigan, below or under the bridge, like a troll. If you are visiting Michigan and you hear the word fudgy, it means you're a tourist, and you're a fudgy because you're usually buying fudge because there's a
Which
lot
is
of
terrible.
I know a lot of fudge
Fucking fudge.
shops in tourist towns all over Michigan. There's at least one place that sells fudge. A lot of places, even if they're not fudge shops, still sell fudge because people come in and they buy fudge. And they're like, there's all kinds of flavors. It doesn't matter what flavor is, it tastes terrible. But yeah, so if you hear the term fudgy and you're not from Michigan, they're talking about you. So there you
I
go.
don't like the texture of fudge either. It just feels weird in your mouth. Fudge is gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fudge
So
person either.
yeah, I'm not. I'm not. Hey, Larla, are you a fudge person? She's not. She's not
She's
a
not.
fudge cat. No.
She's
So all right. So yeah, okay. So definitions. Thank you, Anne, for taking us through the definitions of Yoopers, trolls, and fudgies.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. So, what is a Yooperlite? A Yooperlite, these are igneous rocks, which means they're volcanic. They were created from a volcano. It's a cool,
Specifically, the cooling of magma or lava.
exactly, the cooling of magma or lava, either quickly or slowly. This was probably somewhere in between. It's a cool rock, and it's cool because it glows when you wave a UV light on it. There's parts of it that will shimmer. So Jenny has an example of the little UV flashlight, and you can spend a ton of money or almost no money on this, but I do suggest you get yourself a good one because the better your flashlight, the more likely you are to find your Yooperlites. And if you're poking around at midnight on a deserted beach, you want to be able to find one. And if you don't have the right tools, it makes it a lot harder. It is more in more technical terms. You're going to have to go over with this with me, Jenny. Here, you take this one. You take the next
Okay.
couple.
All right. So essentially, what you have with a Yooperlite is it's a cyanite. So like when you have in this case what's an intrusive igneous rock, which means it cools from magma, which is inside the Earth's crust, usually cools slowly enough to start forming crystals. In this case, one of the most familiar and common intrusive igneous rocks is granite, and granite is this mix of the minerals feldspar and quartz and hornblende, and often either biotite or muscovite mica. A Yooperlite is kind of like a granite. Um, it's just that it's missing the quartz. So you have feldspar, you have some hornblends in there, you have some muscovite and biotites again, but this time you have also sodalite that sort of replaces the quartz, and it's the sodalite in cyanide that reflects back with that UV radiation. There's a sodalite's just a tiny bit radioactive, but not in a bad way. It's just uh, that's what cyanide is. That's how cyanide is different in quartz. It's really easy to mistake it for a quartz, but it doesn't have. I'm sorry, it's really easy to mistake it for a granite, but it's missing that quartz piece. So there's more. You tend to have more feldspar in it instead. It's rich in aluminum, silicon, oxygen, and sodium. And like I said, that signature, that bright orange signature, comes back when you flash from that long wave ultraviolet radiation at it. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you've ever been to Michigan or you live in Michigan, you're like, Volcanoes in Michigan. This is a volcanic rock that you find in Michigan. When did Michigan have volcanoes? 1.1 billion years ago. So really long time ago. And in the area we call the Upper Peninsula. So there was all, and we see the remnants of that volcanic activity today, not just with Yooperlites, but with Isle Royal. And if you've ever heard of Black Rocks, you know, if you're in the Marquette area, there's a brewery called Black Rocks. There's a park that has a black rock. It's all basalt, which is a volcanic rock. So you get all this black
Extrusive.
rock, which is, I'm sorry, intrusive.
Actually, that one's extrusive. Basalted extrusive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was extrusive because it can cool. It cools really fast, which gives it that uniform quality. I love basalt. I think it's beautiful. So we have all this volcanic evidence. It was just a super, I mean, way before people. So but we still have the evidence of it 1.1 billion years later. So yeah, Michigan did have volcanoes real long time ago. There you go.
It's all part of that Canadian shield, which is some of the oldest rock that's still left on the planet.
There you go. Michigan, one of the oldest places in the world.
Let's go.
Indeed. All right. So yes, Michigan did have volcanoes. So how do
Oops, I'm going the wrong way.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
Volcanoes. Here we go. Where do I find Yooperlites? Well, the name says it all. Yooper, your Upper Peninsula. Yooper is the official nickname of those who come from the Upper Peninsula, as we said. And Yooperlites can be found on the beaches, a lot more often on the south shore of Lake Superior, from Whitefish Point to Marquette and along the Keweenaw Peninsula. So
right
there it is on the map. So if you look on the map here of the Upper Peninsula with Lake Superior, you can see that over on the east side is Whitefish Bay area. In the central area is Marquette. And in the northwest area, that is the Copper Harbor or the Keweenaw Peninsula area. So can you find them in other parts of the Upper Peninsula? Sure. But the best chances you have are in these three areas, and they're pretty big areas. There you go. How do I find Yooperlites? If you were raising your hand, Mrs. Brothers's, how do I find Yooperlites? Well, you want to listen to the guy that discovered them, Eric
Rintamaki.
Thank you, Rintamaki. I had it a little while ago, but then I lost it. Things that you need: time. You're going to spend some hours out there, so give yourself some time. Technique. There is a technique, and I watched somebody do it wrong on Thursday night and miss the Yooperlite that I found. You need a good UV flashlight. Regular flashlight when you're hunting in the dead of night, not to find the UP lights, but to find your way back to your car. You will be surprised how disorienting it is to try to find your way back off a deserted beach in the middle of the night.
It's dark.
Because it's dark, and dark in a way that you usually don't experience. You need something to mark the beach so you can orient yourself, like a glow stick. Jenny and I use glow sticks, and we also have little camp lamps that we set up. You need something to carry your rocks in, like your backpack, which is good because then your hands free. You need proper footwear because you might be in the water, so you need something waterproof, and proper clothing for the season. Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it windy? Is water splashing on you? You know, it's all based. Keep an eye on the weather. Very close eye on the weather. You know, and if you're afraid to go by yourself, hey, go on a Yooperlite tour the first time. That would be a super fun way to learn how to do it. So that's all the ways you can, all the things you need to do to find a Yooperlite. It really isn't rocket science, but you want to be prepared.
Yes, all true. All right, so the question is, can you find Yooperlites in the lower peninsula of Michigan? Because so last year, I'm gonna preface this real quick. Last year when we went up to the UP, I mean the UP, if you live in Kalamazoo, Michigan, is a long way away. It's a solid 7-hour drive to get up there, get yourself situated, and get to the best beaches for Yooperlite hunting. So you might want to go Yooperlite hunting, but maybe you don't want to go all the way up to the UP in order to do it. Well, we have good news. Can you find Yooperlites in the lower peninsula? And the answer is yes, you can, emphatically. And the reason that you can find Yooperlites in the lower peninsula is because glaciers. Yay! So there you go. And you want to talk about glaciers?
So if all this volcanic activity happened in the Upper Peninsula, how do we get the Yooperlites in the Lower Peninsula? That is an excellent question because in theory, there shouldn't be any down here. If all the volcanoes happened 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours away from us, how come they're here now? Well, glaciers, as we just said. So between 2.58 million years to 11,700 years ago, Michigan experienced several glacier periods. This happened during the
Pleistocene. The Pleistocene.
epoch. And the last one was the Wisconsin glaciation, and the retreat of that glacier was between 13,000 and 10,000 years ago. So about 13,000 years ago, this slow moving, because they're moving from north to south, or in this case, kind of north to southwest.
Look, there we go.
There we go. So kind of north to southwest. So, they kind of like start in the north, they work their way down. They take thousands of years. They're big. I can't emphasize enough how thick and big these ice sheets are. So thick and big that they scoop and scrape and push millions and billions of pounds of dirt and rock and soil to different parts. So they pushed all this volcanic rock. And Yooperlites aren't the only volcanic rock that you can find in the Lower Peninsula. There's tons of volcanic rock in the Lower Peninsula for an area that never had volcanoes. And it's this glaciers just pushed and moved and scraped them. And then when the glaciers melted, boom, they dumped it all right there. So that's how we got all this volcanic rock over tens of thousands of years. It just got mushed and pushed and melted and pushed more and scraped more, and ta-da, ta-da.
Yeah, I don't like
geology.
The last ice age, the last ice age ended about, like you said, about 10,000 years ago. But that glaciation period was, we had ice sheets over the northern sections of the our planet, and then also as far advances as far down to like places like Kentucky and Missouri. And you're talking about sheets that are of ice that are a mile thick. And so I want you to imagine what that can do when you go to places like Wisconsin. Wisconsin is incredibly hilly. And all those hills that you're driving or biking over are nothing more than just big piles of glacial dump. And it's a testament to how big those glaciers were and how much destruction they were doing. If you're driving through Michigan or Wisconsin and you see a giant boulder in the middle of a field, nobody put that boulder there. That boulder got dumped by a glacier. And that's what we call glacial erratic. It's like you have this giant boulder that has no business in this big old cornfield. But, when you have a mile thick glacier, it can pick up, a boulder the size of, your garage and dump it in the middle of somebody's field. So that's super common in these areas where you had these glacial advances and retreats. So, and you can see on this particular slide, you can see that that last was the Wisconsin glaciation, which ended about 10,000 years ago. That's in that lightest blue color. You can see that, and you can see where that glacier, it advanced in a more, southwesterly direction. And if you look at that, that takes you all the way across all of the Great Lakes. So the truth is, you could actually find Yooperlites along the shores of any of the Great Lakes. Now, you have the highest concentration of those Yooperlites in and along Lake Superior because it's going to be closer to the source material. But if you're looking, you can find them anywhere. So great news. Yooperlites aren't just for Yoopers anymore. So,
exactly.
All right. So, just, in doing a quick reference, this is where we hunted last year. So if you're looking at this picture, you can see our little red dot. We were in Grand Marais, Michigan. We were at their public beach. They have like a little bay, and then they have a little arm that sticks out kind of around the bay. That's where that beach is, and that's where we were last year. And we found several good-sized Yooperlites on that beach. So we looked in that area. We probably did 2 to 3 hours of searching, both of the nights that we went out there. And the weather was perfect. It was great hunting. And we found, I don't know, probably a little, probably like 5 or 6 really good looking Yooperlites each. So that was pretty awesome. The only thing about Grand Marais is that there's not a lot of lodging around there, so you kind of have to plan if you're going to do that. So we did a lot of driving last year for that.
Yeah.
So this year we decided to try our luck along the beaches of Lake Michigan, and we decided to just keep it to one beach this year. We went to Point Betsy Beach. which is in Benzie County, Michigan, just north of Frankfort, Michigan. And it's a really great, it's just a great beach. You should go there just to enjoy a beautiful beach. The lighthouse is amazing. And you can actually go visit the lighthouse. They have a little historical museum in there. You can go to the top. I think they have like an Airbnb now there too. Or something like that. Yeah. What you're looking for if you're on the Lake Michigan side, you're looking for a good rocky beach. And we did a little scouting on the way up. We stopped at Point Betsy, and it was great. Lots of rocks. We're like, yeah, we think this is going to be the one. We also stopped at the public beach in Empire, Michigan. Don't go there. It's all sand, so that's not a great beach for you to choose. So when you're scouting, you're going to want to go look for beaches that have a nice rocky line, right? At the water line, and then a little bit, inland from the water line. So there you go. So that's where we picked. We both found one small Yooperlite each. We hunted for about 2 hours. Here's mine. Here's mine right there. Boop. There's my little guy right there. Oh, wait, hang on. I got to get my light on it.
Good idea.
Can you see that? I don't know
Not really.
This is gonna happen, Ann Brothers. It's gonna happen. Wait, I gotta change our picture. Here we go. So there.
Oh
there
yeah,
it goes.
Yep.
Yay, my little Yooperlite. Yay. Yeah. So yeah, just a little guy. And we probably, like I said, we looked. I probably found mine about 90 minutes into our maybe an hour into our search. And the thing about Yooperlite hunting is, man, you just have to be really patient. People like, tell your story, Ann. Tell your story.
Well, Jenny and I were looking, and we have our technique down because we watched a video on how to do it. We have our technique down, and we move slow. We move very slowly. It is like literally, it's like one step every 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, literally. And we watched this other guy. He was like Yooperlite hunting. He came walking at a regular pace, kind of like swiping his light back and forth. And I was like, that man is not going to find any Yooperlites. And I was like, after about an hour, I was like, hell, maybe I won't find any either. But I finally got to the area where he had been looking, and I found a Yooperlite where he had been looking. And it was because I had been taking my time, raking away rocks to check underneath. And I had done all the things that I had been trained to do by watching the video, the Yooperlite video. And I found my little guy. It's like, yay. I was very excited because it was nice. It had nice fire to it. It was easy to spot, but it was easy to spot because I was taking the time to really look for it. If I had just been flashing my light around, I would have never seen it. So
because they're easy to miss, because you see lots of things when that UV light pops back at you. There's little fake things, because there are certain rocks that will come back kind of with an orange signature, but they're not. They're usually like a sandstone or a limestone or something like that. So when that happens, you want to kind of get down and get a closer look. And I spotted mine the same way. Like something just caught my eye, so I took my rake and popped over with my little rake, and sure enough, he was just sitting right there. I'm like, well, look at you, little buddy.
Little guy.
And yeah, and it's so funny because we ended up, we were gonna go back out our second night, but that was pool day. We kind of talked about that, but then Liz, their house has a bunch of river rock around it for landscaping, like landscaping, good sized river rock. So we decided just to hunt there,
Yeah.
And it's funny because I have a bunch of river rock around my house. And last year was the first time that we had gone out. So I wanted to practice. So I actually practiced in my front yard, and I actually found my very first Yooperlite in my front yard.
Yeah, that's where I found mine too. Jenny's like, I saved this area for you. And just as I was about ready to finish, I found my first Yooperlite too in Kalamazoo, and Jenny's, river rock dump for her landscape.
Yeah, and by the way, I went to Manawan Landscaping to get my river rock. So if you got your river rock from Manawan Landscaping, get on out there with your UV flashlight. Let's go. Yeah, so the truth is, just take your time. It's funny because at one point I was kind of getting a little tired. I'm like, maybe I want to stop. I'm like, no, I don't want to stop, because I really like hunting for Yooperlites. And the best part of being out on Thursday night when we were out is that it was beautiful out there. B, the cool thing about hunting Yooperlites in the Lower Peninsula, nobody else is out there hunting. When we were out there hunting in the Upper Peninsula, man, the beaches were full of people hunting.
Yeah.
Except when you get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and go hunt, then there's nobody out there.
There's
But
nobody out
when we
there.
were out, no, there was nobody really there was that one other guy that was hunting.
Mhm.
Other than that, we were the only people out there on the beach hunting. So if you
Yeah.
want to have a little bit more, I would say, private time for hunting, then hunt
Mhm.
down in the Lower Peninsula along any of the Great Lakes in the Lower Peninsula, because I think you'll have some good luck. And the other thing is, just take your time, enjoy
Mhm.
it. The other cool thing is that we caught the tail end of the Perseids while we were out there. We each saw like 2 or 3 Perseids,
Mhm.
which was totally awesome. And then, like I said, it was just a beautiful night to be. It was calm out there and quiet, and there were you could see lots of boats in the distance, and
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
lovely. So
It's
yeah,
like
highly recommend.
Milwaukee was popping. I mean, it was just like the
Yeah,
Milwaukee. Yeah. The
yeah,
Milky Way. I'm sorry. The Milky Way
the
was
Milky
just
Way. Yeah,
was popping out. So
yeah,
it was a beautiful night to be outside.
yeah. So highly recommend it. It's just a great way to go and spend some time. And
Mhm.
like I said, if you don't want to go that far, if you have some river rock, go take your flashlight out there and go poke around. It's
Yeah.
fun. So
You never
yeah,
know.
you don't. You never know. And you know, people. I've had people ask me, well, you only got one little tiny rock. I'm like, yeah, I know. But sometimes you do things because it provides some sort of, I don't know, peace, clarity, something fun, and it gives you a chance to sort of see an environment in a completely different way.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know how many times I've been to Point Betsy Beach in my life, tons of times.
Mhm.
And to experience it at night like that was something I had never done in my entire life. I've always seen it in the light of day when it's,
Yeah.
looks one way, because I did not realize that Point Betsy is still a working lighthouse.
I
So
didn't realize that
surprise.
either until boom,
Yeah.
all of a sudden this light flash. I was like, holy cow, this lighthouse is still working. So
It's still doing its thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, that in itself was worth it to me. Not just the fact that I got myself a cute little Yooperlite, but because I got to experience this place that I've known and loved since I was a kid in a completely different way. Did you make a ring?
I'm going to make a ring out of
Okay.
it. So, and then I'm going to, when people are like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to pull my UV flashlight out of my purse. I'm like, yes, but can your ring do this? So yeah.
It cannot.
Mhm.
It can't
Mhm.
do that. So yeah. So anyway, that's what I think. If there's as far as rocky beaches, I'm not super. I don't spend a lot of time on the South Haven or St. Joe beaches. But if you know of a rocky beach close by, go
Mhm.
check it out. You might
Yeah.
you might find that there's a little hidden treasure there for you. So
Mhm.
huzzah!
Yeah.
So
Not just the
yeah,
Tosca
cool.
stones.
No, no. Just a couple of quick reminders when it comes to that. If you're interested in if you're not comfortable going out on a beach by yourself, you can always go. Eric Rintamaki, he's kind of the father of the Yooperlite, and he has a whole webpage plus a place if you wanted to shop. He's got recommendations as far as UV flashlights you can use. He also does tours. Right now, he doesn't have any tours listed for the rest of the summer or the fall. But when he does, he'll actually take you out onto his favorite hunting places. His tours run $300 a person. That includes dinner and I think like 3 to 5 hours of actual outdoor on the beach time with him hunting for Yooperlites. And so it's a small thing. He takes you out in his little side by side. He takes 5 people out at a time, and you can go check that out if you wanted to do that, which could be very fun.
Mhm.
Again, you guys, when you're hunting Yooperlites, just remember these things. Be smart. Don't endanger yourself or others.
Yeah.
Pack it in, pack it out. If it's private beach property, respect that. Don't go combing around on somebody's private beach. Respect state land limits.
Mhm.
Don't go hunting for Yooperlites in a national park, because
Yeah.
you've got Sleeping Bear, you've got Picture Rocks National Lakeshore. Don't do that. Those things are meant to be enjoyed by everyone. So leave it alone. Um, and again, it's also super bad luck to take artifacts and stuff off of national park land, just so you know.
Just so you know.
Yeah, fun fact. If you'd like to know more, go to these. There's a couple different YouTube. Whoops. A couple different YouTubes as far as practicing and hunting. I highly recommend both. That's how
Mhm.
Ann and I both started last year, was just walking through these videos, and super helpful. I felt like such an expert this time because I had everything ready. It took me no time whatsoever to pack for
Exactly.
my Yooperlite trip this year because I was totally ready. I
Mhm.
have a kit. I
Me
built a
too.
kit. So
Me
yeah.
too. I have my little pack, my little Yooperlite hunting pack.
It is. I have my kit that has like my glow sticks and my lamps, and then I have my bucket that has my rain boots in it and my rain gear in case I need that. So yeah, totally cool. Or I'm the
Toy,
biggest
toy.
nerd. I'm actually just the biggest nerd.
Can't help it.
Right.
Help
Yeah, I
it.
know, right? Okay. Black light to find your Yooperlite. Really highly recommend going to the Yooperlite guy and getting his black light. It's the best one. So
Yeah,
there you go.
I went through him. If for no other reason, making a living in the Upper Peninsula can be tough. And you know, he has this store. You don't have to get any of your equipment. You can buy that equipment. You can buy most of that equipment at like Walmart. But the reason why I got it from him is because one, it's the equipment. It's the same type of equipment that he used, and I wanted to try to be as successful as possible. And two, I wanted to put money back into the community. I was like, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm going to spend this money on a good equipment. I might as well give it to somebody in my community, you know, in my Michigan community. So that's why I picked him. And I highly recommend you do that too. If you're really interested in this, you know, you can get yourself all set up with lights, rechargeable battery, the goggles that you need, examples of Yooperlites, the whole thing. I think it cost me under $50. And that's not too bad for starting a hobby. You know, even if you only use it once a year, you're like, you know, there's lots of things that I paid more for. So highly recommend you going to his website, getting your equipment from him.
It's awesome. And honestly, when you find one, it feels cool. It does.
It does. You feel so excited.
Cool. I know. You're like, look, because it's not easy. That's one of the reasons I like it. They're not necessarily easy to find. So
no, you need to take some care. So
totally. Well, Anne, that's all I have to say about our Yooperlite experience. Ultimately, you know, you can do it. So thank you again. You spent nearly an hour with the brothers sisters. We were talking about smart, dumb, fun stuff. Remember, you guys, we would love to hear from you. If you have a Yooperlite experience that you would like to share, some wisdom, something that happened, something that you experienced that you think would be helpful to others, then by all means, give us your questions, concerns, comments, and confessions. That's right. We want to hear all about your Yooperlite experience.
Be careful when you're driving home. You will encounter deer.
Yeah, I actually think there were more deer on the side of the road than there were stars in the sky on Thursday night when we were heading back. So yeah. So
for everyone we saw, there was like 4 I'm sure we missed. So
well, at one point we're like, I'm coming to this T stop and there's a field in front of us, and there were so many deer in that field.
Full of fucking deer. So I was like, oh man. So yeah. So don't stay so late that you're so tired unless you're like sleeping on the beach. You know, if you have a drive back to where you're staying, make sure that you're not too exhausted. Leave before you get too exhausted because you want to stay frosty.
You do. Stay frosty and alert. And it will tire you out more than you think, even though you know, like we didn't cover a lot of ground. We only did a small, maybe 100 feet of the beach. I mean, honestly. And so it's not that we did, but you are intently looking, you're focused, you're concentrating. At the same time, you're also trying to pay attention to the environment around you. Don't wear headphones. Don't listen to your music while you're doing this. You need to stay alert as to what's around you because, you know, even though, you know, our beach was empty of people, you know, there's a lot you can't see. I mean, you can't. It's like at one point, Anne had gone back to the bench and I couldn't find her, and I was maybe 50 feet from her, and I'm like, "Hey, brothers, where you at?" So
yeah, I was on the bench
by the light.
I'm on the bench looking at the stars, you know.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where we don't really know what dark is in our day-to-day lives because we spend so much time around artificial light. So when you get out on a beach in the middle of nowhere, you get to experience genuine dark, and so which is great, but also it can be really disorienting. So just make sure you take care of that. So yeah,
take care.
All
Let
right.
people know where you're going.
Yeah. Don't go out unless people know that you're out. Let them know what beach you're on, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you have a cell phone with you, you can share your map location with somebody you love. So there you go. Yeah. All right. And again, you guys, thanks again for joining us. You can support us for absolutely free. Just follow, like, subscribe, leave a review on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. And again, you guys, share your experiences with your friends and family. Let them know that we are worthwhile to listen to because you can learn things about stuff. There you go.
There you go.
All right. Join us next week when we discuss the great and powerful axolotl. That's right, you guys. We are going full smart next week. Ann Brothers is going to show us all of her axolotl toys and a few things, because axolotls are kind of a hot thing right now. People love axolotls. So we're going to talk about not only are they cute and fun and always have a smiley face, but we're also going to talk about the biological qualities that make them the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. Okay. So exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Boop. There it is. So again, you guys, thank you for joining us today where we talked about Yooperlites or Trollperlites. I am Janice Brothers. With me is my sister.
Ann Brothers.
That's right. And we want you to get out there and do something smart, do something fun, do something dumb. We are out of here.